Hey, good evening, friends, and welcome to tonight's Halloween tale. Tonight's story will be brought to you by Colonel Kensington, and it's called Axe Murder Hollow. If you're ever out for a drive late at night on a lonely country road out in the middle of nowhere, and you accidentally run off the road and bump up against a tree and become stuck in the mud, it's best you wait until help arrives, not go out wandering around. You don't know what might be lurking out there in the woods. But then again, you don't know what kind of help might be arriving either, now do you? Good evening, friends. Colonel Kensington here with tonight's scary story. Our story tonight is called Axe Murder Hollow. It's about a couple named Susan and Ned who are out driving late one night in an empty wooded section of highway. Lightning flashed, the thunder roared, and the sky went dark in the torrential downpour. "Oh, Ned, we've got to stop," said Susan. Ned nodded his head in agreement and stepped accordingly so on the brake. However, the car started to slide on the slick pavement and plunged off the road and came to rest on an incline in front of a tree. Shaken, Ned looked over to see if Susan was all right. When she nodded her head that she was, Ned looked out at the torrential storm and said to Susan, "I've got to check the car." Ned stepped outside. Susan could see his blurry figure as he walked around the car in front of the headlight. Ned then got back in and told Susan the car seems all right. However, we are wheel deep in mud. I've got to go for help. He told Susan to turn off the lights and lock the car. He wouldn't be long. Axe Murder Hollow. Although Ned had said nothing, Susan knew what he was thinking and knew why he had told her to lock the door. For it was here at Axe Murder Hollow, many years in the past, a jealous husband had hacked his poor wife to death with an axe over an alleged affair. They say his ghost still haunted that part of the road. Directly, Susan heard a bump outside the car, along with a strange gurgling noise. She slid down into her seat, and after several minutes passed, outside she heard a soft bump, bump, bump. Directly, a light flashed in her face. An official-sounding voice told her to get out of the car. Susan did as she was told, assuming it was a police officer that Ned had found. However, as Susan emerged from the car, she turned and saw Ned's dead body hanging from the tree, his throat deeply cut, draining of blood. Cut so deeply he was nearly decapitated. Susan screamed and turned and ran towards the voice. But the light was not coming from a flashlight as she had thought. Instead, she was running towards the glowing figure of a man with a huge grin on his face. And he was holding a very solid and real axe. Stroking the blade of the axe with his fingers, the man said, "So you've been playing around while I've been gone, have you? You've been a very naughty girl." And the last thing Susan ever saw was the glint of the blade of the axe from the incandescent, glowing blade. And now, my friends, I've got some work to do. Sleep tight.